that we're, there it is. Well, good afternoon, good evening, bienvenidos, everyone. Happy holidays. You're joining us today for Cultivating Voices live poetry. It is our fifth annual holiday poetry open house, or as I've always called it right from the get-go, our Hopo reading. Um, and today's reading will feature everyone on the open mic. We're going to get in as many voices as we can. I will try to keep my comments to a minimum as we celebrate the spirit of poetry and community that we've shared during this year of 2024 as we head into the holiday season. I'm so looking forward. Thank you, one and all. Wow, what a great assembly of a chorus of poets that we have here today. We have many of you already signed up. Kim will be taking names just for a few more minutes. It's one poem a piece. And as I said, I'll try to keep my comments to a minimum so we can get as many people in on the open mic today as possible. Well, I'm your host, Sandy Yannone. I always have the best seat in the house. I tip my top hat to all of you during this season of light, however you choose to celebrate the season. Just a couple reminders before we get to our first contributor today, our first poet. The chat is live for you to share your holiday greetings and enthusiasms with each other. Also, if for the support of everyone in the room, if your poem today necessitates a content notice, please do provide that so that folks can appropriately mute and take good care of themselves during the reading. Of course, we're recording the reading today. That'll be put up on our platforms. That's all thanks to Don Krieger. And of course, Kim Ports Parsons has done the really wonderful work of putting out the publicity all year long, both Don and Kim. Thank you so much to both of you, which is what allows us to assemble here today. Well, I'm going to go to our first reader. Let's just get this party started, and I hope you all have your little beverages. I've got my Joy beverage here. I've got a little ginger ale with a little cranberry in it, and really looking forward to hearing all of your voices here today for our holiday poetry open house. And first up today, the Artful Dodger. I don't know if you have a top hat around, but Artful Dodger often wore a top hat. I wish I could lend you mine. Harvey
I wish you
Soss.
could.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good to
Well,
see you.
although I could probably sleep in the top hat being 5'1", so you never know.
There you go.
But first of all, I'd just like to call your attention to an invitation that I'll be posting in the chat for the next Artful Dodgers generous open mic, which will be on Sunday, December 29th, to see the year out. And talk of a life celebration has confirmed my intention to read a poem uh, basically dedicated to and about my mother. Uh, it's called It's Not Your Fault. Downwind of Stern's pickle factory, mother melted butter in a frying pan, not yet 65. There's nothing you or I could have done about it, husband or son. She was no toddler on training blocks to require one of us to call and ride shotgun. After convalescence and post-surgical depression, she insisted on going out alone. Who knew? Driving unaccompanied those few fateful miles to the mall. Neither of us could have known. How could we that an aerosol can from the Stop and Shop, Pam hairspray, a family-sized spritzer of SPF 100 suntan lotion, or as may hereafter be determined by forensics, would grow ever more heated on the passenger seat, soaking up summer sun until it burst, going all kablooey Nova, turning luminous housewife into a flambeau, exploding without warning, making a funeral pyre of the car and her with its consumptive fire. While talking heads debated global warming on the radio, a seer could not have foreseen this end. Neither you nor I could have foreseen this end. And of course, in the end, neither of us did. I don't recall the make or model, possibly Chevy or Olds, as you proudly allowed only fresh off the lot Detroiters with NASA-worthy gizmos in the driveway. Made in America being the way to go, or so hand over heart you swore. Had you been there helpless where she stalled and burned, fumbling, I suspect, at her seatbelt, you might have rethought your position on American design. General Motors, Ford, Daimler, Chrysler are big three car makers, those made in America, two tough locks and windows, standing firm against the efforts of sooty-faced good Samaritans to break her out of the screaming car. Efforts that failed so miserably when safety glass, once touted as a selling point, proved all too resistant to their frenzied fists. It's not your fault they could not save her any more, I must and do believe, than it is mine. Mother, wife, survivor of two open heart surgeries, perhaps she just couldn't be saved. It's not as if we didn't care. For my part, after some robo-detective dialed to say my father needed me, I thought as you must have done. If only I could have been there, I would have kicked, punched, hammered that motherfucking glass to shards and fetched her for you from the fire, to rise phoenix-like in her accustomed place at the dinner table, to serve pfannkuchen and chicken paprika, followed by a slice of the best chocolate babka, bar none, on Long Island. And if the glass proved stronger even than adrenaline born of breast milk, I would have blessed her as a son might against the coming darkness of a natural night, and said, for all of us, for all who knew and loved us, but for you we would be nothing, less than nothing. Certainly my sisters and I, clump clay animated by your hands and care, putting all other mothers to shame, their children haphazardly thrown on the wheel and hurriedly glazed over. All praise to you, then, for shaping us this way. Never was there ceramicist with so deft a touch. Thank you.
That is Harvey Soss, our Artful Dodger of the day, of the year. And a reminder, folks, please do feel free to put announcements of end of year readings that you're aware of. Harvey's hosting one on December 29th. Before we move to Alexandra, I just want to make two quick announcements. I forgot to begin the program by thanking all of you who came out last week for our final new book showcase of the year. And what a showcase, what a new book showcase it was to close out a year of tremendous new book showcases. Congratulations to all of you who had books out in 2024. And it was an amazing showcase with Rachel Hegarty, Sophie Cabot Black, Kai Coggin, and Marie Howe. And if you were not able to be, I literally just got chills as I said their four names. If you were not able to watch the program live with us here, please, please do feel free to avail yourself of the recording on our Facebook and our YouTube platforms. Again, with great thanks to Don Krieger for providing that. And I want to just announce that we're giving out gifts today. I'm calling it a gift away. And we're doing it randomly. Kim has a system. And the first gift is Carolyn Forche's What You Have Heard Is True, her memoir, which was a National Book Award finalist. And that's going to be going out to Calgary to Josephine LoRe. So congratulations, Josephine. So good to see you here. I'm just marking them all, putting people's names down. I'll reach out to you to get your addresses so I can mail them out to you. So that's our first. And our next gift away is going to be, thanks to Billy Brown, it's going to be a full year subscription, the 2025 subscription to the Fixed and Free Quarterly. That's amazing. A whole year of poetry from New Mexico and around the world, literally. So we'll let you know when we have the recipient of that gift away here from Cultivating Voices Live Poetry. Well, now we're going to move to Alexandra Psaropoulou, accompanied with Henry Lohman. Thank you both of you for being here and for the year of poetry that you've provided with us. Yeah, I'm seeing it scroll through everybody, but there's no sound quite yet. So
Yeah, I'm not playing because I can't hear Alexandra.
yeah, we don't hear Alexandra yet. So here we go.
I'm really sorry. It's my fault.
No worries, no worries. There's no fault, there's no blame, there's no shame here.
Can we have a second of silence before she begins, please?
My visions are my torture. My visions turquoise visions, turquoise flame. For those whose hearts are not tired of sowing in the field of dreams. For the journey is bittersweet, half hurt, like thorny milk thistle, like sweet-smelling jasmine. And different behaviors, going beyond doings and right doing, into new and more thriving harvest. My visions are in sacred comfort, turquoise visions, turquoise flank, for those whose hearts can admire the phosphorescent hopes of the sun. The journey is rugged, half uphill, half downhill. Low climb in the winter, bees gathering nectar from spring blossoms. In the rain's mouth and the sun's caress. Onto new and even higher. My visions are my futile mirages. My visions are my sweetest turquoise visions, turquoise flying. For those whose hearts are refreshing of new songs. Where the journey is uncharted, half tempest, half tranquility. Turbulent sea on a windy day, like crystal serene sailing over low and high tides, going beyond traumatic and fond into new and longed for harbors. My visions are my light duties. My visions are my radiant basking. Turquoise visions, turquoise flying. For those whose hearts shine brightly through storms. For the journey is evolving, half empirical, half new. Seeing what what I encounter, seeing what I know, painting the world in dark and iridescent tea, and beyond the tremendous beautiful more exquisite rainbows. Our visions are our unmanifested out. Golden visions, golden flying.
Oh, that is luminous. That is luminous. That is Alexandra Psaropoulou with Henry Lohman on the accompaniment, the musical accompaniment. Thank you so much for bringing the live music. You know, these pieces that Alexandra brings to our program has brought to our program during the year. They take months, the visualscapes with the poem to create. It is just our deepest pleasure that we are so fortunate to be able to experience these visual poetry scapes. Thank you so much. Happy holidays to you both. Indeed. We'll see you in the new year. Well, next up we go to my old hometown, Olympia, Washington. Ken Burch, great to have you here. Thank you for all your contributions this year.
Thank you. It's good to see you, Sandy, and it's good to see everyone else. And I've got this one. This is sort of on the theme of unity, which I think I thought was the theme this week, but I think it serves. It's not really particularly a holiday poem. It's in the sense of, or series of my, the kind of Sendru cycle things that I've been doing. It's sort of reaction to adjusting to the situation we're in now, trying to find resilience and trying to find those of us who will not be treated as badly in the situation as others are, to remember who else we're fighting for in our poetry, since all poetry is a kind of using words to summon a different and better world. Connection. Somehow the need still in the urgent present instance lives in the dared glance towards every half-known stranger. Would they be our kin? Our kin, not of blood, their unseen genetic code, the deeper bond of the scarred heart, of the keel-eyed hidden hopes for simple respite, breaths to draw, lungs to finally reinflate for the moment, then, so past thought said, to rise out of the crouching years, stand full height to sing as best we could, ballads of what might be seen if the skies would clear, but now clear too. We must sing while crouching still, must wear newer scars and half-bent spines must become our armor now. Each of us become our armory, heal each other's fresh-made wounds in every way, connect, heal, sing, raise up songs of those whose wounds deeper always are. Pleasant season of whatever holiday you may or may not be celebrating, everyone.
Thank you so much. That's Ken Burch, everyone. And yes, we must continue to sing, stay connected in every possible way, I'm gonna ask Caitlin Krause to jump the line a little bit. There's so that we can hear her voice. She has to step out a little early. So if Caitlin, if you're still here, please do come on to the live mic and share your poem.
I'm still here. My heart is so full. Thank you for that poem just now. That reached me. Yeah, there's so much love in this room. Can you hear me okay? Okay. Every year is a tradition. I write a solstice poem. I don't know if anyone else does, but the solstice is important and I see time as a spiral. So I want to read you The first one and the last one. So the first one and then this year. Solstice poems. The heart has reasons that reason cannot know. Blaise Pascal. Solstice. Some view winter as hibernation, waiting, a pause for a point. Solstice means sun stands still, yet there's nothing entirely still here. Winter's pulse prevails. Its grip can be felt at the core, crystal, pure, piercing. The glow of a flame, the stammer of starlight, the turning, the look inside. And now this year. Solstice. The moon is always female. She waxes and wanes, watching over us. Darkness and light, ebb and flow, the way the tide laps at your ankles, and you feel its gentle pull. The pulse at the skin of your temple. Solstice. Sun stands still beyond stillness. Still here, still water. Run deep, still true, all new. 2025 beckons. But we just can't leave this year behind. The veil was lifted. Imagery delivered from on high, from a webbed telescope. ChatGPT indeed, all that chatter and noise. The day everyone speaks and no one listens anymore, evermore, nevermore. Sand away our rough edges. Teach me to be human. Teach me to listen, animal. I love you, deep stars and deep trees. We dwell here. Teach us to slow down and listen. We are all connected. The light shining, glowing from within, playing on our eyelids, dancing among us and through us. Solstice here. Thank you so very much for letting me come and read and listen and feel the blessing of being here in the space.
Thank you, Caitlin, with that beautiful pairing, that connection of the years through solstice, and an amazing reminder about the power of the sun to connect us. And I know Caitlin, as with many of you in the room, had books out this year. Congratulations once again. And
Thank you.
We look forward to more abundance from you and everyone here in the room in 2025. Well, next, you're so welcome. Next, we go to Nayma Chamchoun. So good to see you. Thank you so much for being so flexible today.
Oh, thank you. It's always a pleasure. Noritor. There is no return to Safi, because now it is Safi, a word to express enough, that it could ever be enough. When I feasted on you through its streets and cafes, through the craggy coves and bloodlit bars, the light twisting and turning like blood, swirling, burning in the buried recall of the heart, where once its roads ran like rivers of red and green, magnificently magnified exaltations, unabashed, uncontainable ululations, a nation's pride exploding in an anthem of bellowing beeps, making moon eyes over the seafood platter, smiling as we snuck the cat of prawn, riding the glorious quest of that dawn the richness of comfort, making us better. I have abandoned the throne above the sea, its living surface ablaze with bejeweled grandeur. The bogus queen with illusions of grandeur, never believing such beauty could deceive. I will not return to your hopeless dream, which trespassed its hope on the heart and dared me to aspire to the stars as the heavens fell apart at the seams. I will not stroll on her dazzling beaches, where you gently cupped and kissed my hand, where my name lays buried in the sand. The breeze carrying away hope's pieces. I will erase you from all maps that lead to you. Perhaps I may hear your name on another's lips, and reminisce retrieves you, and the heart skips. But the heart's folly will find no pathway back to you. Thank you.
Oh, absolutely luminous, beautiful, beautiful. What I so appreciate about hearing your poem and reminded, there's a reason that our program is called Cultivating Voices, live poetry, and the voices is plural. And what it is so, so amazing is that we get to hear so many voices. And I just marvel at all of you who come and share your distinct, unique voice. Thank you, Nayma, for being a shining, shining example of that. And each one of you, obviously, a shining, shining example of that. Today, it's Cultivating Voices, live poetry. It's our holiday poetry open mic, everyone, or as I affectionately have called it for years now, 5 years, our Hopo reading. Whatever you celebrate during the season, we are here to celebrate with you today. And thank you for this just incredible year of poetry that we've shared together. Well, next we'll hear from Marjorie Maddox, and thank you you began us off early in 2024 with your then new book. Like to give a little shout out there. So thank you for coming full circle with us today.
Thank you. This is a Christmas poem and a really old one. I think I wrote this when I was 22. So I can tell by by your shocked faces, you can figure out how old that might be. It's part of a series called How to Fit God into a Poem. And this particular one is called God Tries on Skin. Once he stretched skin over spirit like a rubber glove, aligning trinity with bone, twining through veins till deity square-knotted flesh. In a whirlwind spin, he shrank to the size of a zygote, bobbed in a womb warm as Galilee's shore. In the dark, he brushed up on Hebrew, practiced his crawl. After months scrunched in a circle, he burst through his cellophane sack, bloodied the teen legs spread on the straw. In his first breath, he inhaled the sweat of Romans casting lots, sniffed the wine mixed with gall. Thanks.
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing that Christmas poem with us, Marjorie. I look forward to more poetry in 2025, of course. Thank you so much. And I love your backdrop. It's after my own heart. Well, now we move to South Dakota. Again, a person who's been with us since the very first season, our dear, dear friend, Marcella Remund. So good to see you. I hope I get back to your area in 2025.
I hope you do too.
We had such fun.
Absolutely. Well, I have a little Christmas poem, and this is a little prose poem. I don't know if you can see that, called Tea with Jesus. When Jesus stops by for tea, I'll get out the Japanese dessert set Aunt Ruth bought in Chicago after the war. The set with painted gold branches dotted with pink cherry blossoms. I'll have questions, of course, but first I'll serve him spiced Ethiopian black tea with whipping cream and raw brown sugar cubes, cream cheese cupcakes filled with lemon curd, and of course, a plate of goat cheese and olives. We'll laugh about the platypus conundrum, hidden messages in reruns of My Three Sons, and of course, the mullet. When he's full, maybe I'll ask if heaven is a gated community in the sky or somewhere on the Panamanian coast. I'll ask if Peter has a skeleton key and if the gate is really gold. I'll ask who gets in and who doesn't. I'll ask him to explain the Trinity, biological fathers versus adoptive dads. What about war and suffering? I imagine he'll be tired, though, all that walking and dying and coming back again. So maybe we'll just sit quietly, sip our tea, and watch the sparrows in the morning light. Thank you, and happy holidays, everyone. Woohoo!
That's Marcella Remund. I love your contribution to the decoration of the head. Thank you so much. And believe it or not, we just, Kim, right before you started, did our drawing for our second gift away here on Cultivating Voices Live Poetry, our holiday poetry open house. And a 1-year subscription to Fixed and Free. The cards are smiling well on you, Marcella. It's to you. No. So congratulations. Thank you. And we'll see you in 2025. And I'll get information. When we do the next drawing is going to be Amy Berry's beautiful, beautiful collection, Flirting with Tigers. We'll be gifting that just momentarily, so stay tuned. Well, now we move to Linette Rabsatt. Oh, it's so great to have had you here with us this year. I've loved hearing your poetry and your voice here on Cultivating Voices Live Poetry. So thank you for joining us once again for our last reading of the 2024 season.
Thank you. Greetings, everyone. This piece, I guess it's my New Year, New Me piece. It's called Another Year. 2024, another year. Frightening revelations, crazy speculations, AI dissertations, money complications, fake representation, inadequate compensation, exploding vexation. Another year, 2025. Expect no different. Just don't stay complacent. Repeating same yet content. Willingly giving consent, sitting and being reverent while indulging the indecent who disrespect the innocent, supporting the violent, kissing the tails of the prominent. Every year is your year. Be fair, love and care. Try to share, get relationships repaired. Live life as just another year. Thank you.
What a perfect message to end the year and move in with openness and intention into the new year. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It's just absolutely perfect. Folks, again, we're here on Cultivating Voices Live Poetry. It's our holiday poetry open house. The poetry has just been so uplifting, so profound, reverent, and joyous, openness. That is definitely what we need here at the end of this year as we're heading into a new year, full of promise and some of the unknowns that go with time, of course. And isn't poetry a really great platform to, to support the swirl of what we experience in life? Well, I'm so looking forward now to hearing from Rick Boucher. Thank you so much for being with us. I've enjoyed hearing you occasionally here and occasionally on different platforms, and I'm really glad that you were able to make time to join us here today. Rich, thank you.
Well, you're welcome. Well, thank you very much. And I'm grateful for everyone who's involved in putting this on. Very much. This poem is called Rosary of the Phosphorescent. There's a rosary that glows in the dark hanging from the doorknob in the guest room of my sister's house. I've got no religion, but I'm charmed by that little light. There's only one place in the world where winter is real, and that's here in the upper right corner of the country. I can't remember the last time I slept so deeply that dreams were powerless to visit me, to inhabit the back of my mind. Every time an airliner takes flight, an angel clocks back in from break and lends its wings, unless that angel is Paul, who's notoriously gray and parsimonious. The stingy seraph with his arms folded, bad attitude, prepped for the business afoot. In far off Nebraska, which is a good long distance away from anywhere at all, a mirthful breeze feels like the hands of a 17-year-old girl, and her fingers are smoothing over purple and blue flowers in a meadow. We could choose to say what sort of flowers these are, what color eyes the girl possesses. We could do that. Or we could just be quiet for a few damned minutes and appreciate this moment for what it is and what it is not. Not everything that happens in living needs an announcement, a description, or an invitation. That really should have been lesson 1 on the first day of school for all of us. You know those gargantuan air cushions the police put on the ground underneath the ledge of a tall building to break the fall of a hysterical jumper? What happens if there's another jumper several blocks away at the same time in the same part of the city? Someone has to wear the black bowler and coat. Someone must choose who's more important to save. I wouldn't want that kind of responsibility. Actually, I would love to be the man who does the hard math in times and places like those. Leave it to me. It makes me suddenly breathless. There's actually some pain in my chest for a few seconds when I think of myself as actually being important enough to be the one. To be the one whose job it is to report on the arrival of the sun, to parody the stars so pointedly they have to twinkle harder, to be the designer of the coats of dogs, to name every fish in the lake, to realize I had the power to leave home all along. Thank you.
Wow, what a beautiful, beautiful poem. Thank you. Love the title and every word that followed, every single word. That's Rich Boucher with the Rosary of the Phosphorescence. Oh my gosh, you'll see in the chat. everybody, again, the chat is live here, so please do show your love and appreciation for just this absolutely gorgeous poetry today that we're hearing here on Cultivating Voices Live Poetry. It's our holiday poetry open house, and has it been an amazing house already? Excuse me. Well, now we go up to Canada. I imagine it's a little colder. It's cold here in New England, but I imagine a little colder there. And David Brydges, and thank you for all of your contributions that you've offered to us this year. So nice to have you with us once again today for our last reading of the season.
Thanks, Andy. What I love about Cultivating Voices, yeah, it is cool outside, but it's warm inside when I check out every Sunday the Cultivating Voices from all the hearts around the world. My mom was an enthusiastic supporter of my writing path, and for years I promised her that I would publish a book, and I didn't before she died, and I regretted it. But it actually motivated me, and 6 months after she died, I published my first chapbook. I, like Harvey, will dedicate this poem to my mom. For this poem touches on what she'd be doing around Christmas time. The vintage cookie can. After Grandma's passing, her daughter on the next street inherited her traditional cookie can. Since Mom's death, the red-lidded round can with oriental font orange letters spelling cookies rests empty atop our pine kitchen cupboards. Masterful hands once crafted dozens of peanut butter, gingerbread, chocolate chip in a venerated kitchen of spicy delights. Coming home hungry after school, if timed right, we'd be granted one soft treat from her baking sheet. Letting goodie gifts harden, a layer of wax paper covered its bottom before they're safely stashed away. Christmas is near, but no turquoise sprinkle shortbreads warm the old cookie can, dearly missing its matriarch. Grateful family ghosts inhabit this museum of sweet crumbs, exhibiting a household treasure, a canister of love from a heart whose oven was always on.
What a beautiful tribute to your mother. The Museum of Sweet Crumbs. Oh, do I love a canister of cookies. Oh, yes. I love to bake them and I love to eat them. Anybody wants to mail me some cookies, feel free. We will always welcome them here in Connecticut. Also, I want to just give a couple of announcements here. I ironically lit a Christmas cookie scented candle, and unfortunately it was bothering my mom a little bit, so she had to, which we've been having this candle scent for years, but she left the room, but she's watching on Facebook. She wanted me to wish everybody very, very happy holidays to each and every one of you. It's entirely possible she loves the program more than I do, which is saying a lot. So greetings from her. And also I want to announce that our gift away of Amy Berry's Flirting with Tigers goes to Thomas A. Thomas, my partner in poetry shenanigans on another program that we do for the Olympia Poetry Network. So Thomas, I'll be bringing that to you in December when I visit. Maybe I'll mail it. We'll talk. And folks, just an announcement, our next giveaway, we'll be announcing that a little soon. We lost Louise Gluck this year, so I wanted to have a collection of Louise Glucks and So our next gift away will be her book called A Village Life. So thank you so much, David. All the best to you during the holidays. And next, we're going to go to Billy in Possibility Brown. And Billy, thank you so much for your gift of the 1-year subscription and all that you bring to the program with poetry and song and just an amazing heart and all. And of course, I know your community down there in Albuquerque is so, so grateful for your cookies as well.
Oh, thank you, Sandy. As an indication of how much I treasure cultivating voices, I lost my internet for about 15 or 20 minutes. And I thought it was back on, but then I lost it again. And I was swearing a blue streak. I was so upset that maybe I would miss this chance to be with you a bit longer. So here I am. And this poem is related to a movie that my sweetheart and I went to recently for the first time. We'd seen a movie in a long time. We went to see Wicked, and it's also related to a recent dream. I called this poem Glorious Movie. We had our first date in over 2 years. A terrific movie. We both loved it. Watched the credits until the end. Talked it up all the way out of the dark theater into the bright lobby. Parted ways into our respective restrooms. I finished quickly. Waited outside their restroom for 5 or 10 minutes. They did not emerge. Waited another 10 minutes. Finally asked someone to go in and check on them. No one there, they said. I checked all the stalls. Huh. I thought maybe they already went to the car. I walked down the long hill, turned right for a block to our car. Not there. So I got in, waited another 10 minutes. Nope, nothing. Drove back to the theater parking lot, not waiting there. Went inside the lobby, not waiting for me there. Called their cell phone, no answer. Called the apartment, no answer. Damn! They fulfilled their oft-repeated promise to leave me for another guy or a woman. This is so messed up. I knew this would happen. I guess I should have been more attentive, been more the partner they wanted. Thank you.
That's Billy Possibility Brown. Oh yes, full of possibilities there, full of possibilities. True to your name, true to your new moniker here on Cultivating Voices Live Poetry. Thank you so much. Oh my gosh, so good. And I hope I will see you, of course, in person in 2025. I hope we can make that arrangement to come back down to ABQ. Happy holidays. Well, next we go back to Canada to Josephine LoRe, the recipient of our first gift away. I'm
Thank
so
you.
glad to see you here. And of course, you had beautiful poetry extravaganzas this year. Congratulations, and we look forward to hearing one poem today.
Thank you so much. It's wonderful to be here in this company of poems. I live in Calgary, which is home to the Piikani, Tsuut'ina, Nakota, Kainai, and Siksika nations. So I'd like to acknowledge them and thank them for their contributions. One of my sweetest childhood memories was Christmas Eve. After dinner was finished, my dad would take out the guitar and my grandmother would sing. So this poem is a lullaby tribute to my grandmother. Nina Nanna is how we say lullaby in Sicilian. And the rest of the Sicilian words, I think, are explained. A lullaby for my grandmother. Una nina nanna for my nanna. This woman who arrived in Canada with my birth, round as the earth, dressed in sempiternal black. Fazzoletto kerchief on her head to hush the tinnitus, knitting needles clicking layers of woolen love in this harsh and snowy northern land. Stegnatore, broomstick rolling pin my father, the carpenter, had sanded for her. She creating circles of tissue paper thin lasagna as wide as her embrace. morning and nighttime prayers, rosary gliding through fingertips silkened by time. This woman in her apron butchering the rabbit our father had brought home, the rabbit we thought would be our pet, the rabbit we had named. This woman at the kitchen table slurping meat off pig's feet, marrow from bones which had been simmering in sugo for hours, juices running down her laughing cheek. At Easter baking cookies shaped like baskets, the sacrificial lamb. Late summer laying halved tomatoes out in the sun to dry on a window screen my father had framed for her of wood. Eating the unhatched eggs of stewed hens, hanging wash in the inner city backyard breeze, stirring and stirring blood into sausage, the kitchen air thick with the scent of rust, a scent I would recall when the blood first flowed between my legs. My Nana's hugs never concealed any angles or tricks. So proud she was to be granted citizenship without speaking a word of English, unless of course you counted lo stritigarro, the streetcar, or la subway, the subway. She raised me, madriva, my mother too tired from work. She cupped my budding breast, told me I was becoming a woman. My Nana smiled a wide Sicilian smile. And on Christmas Eve, my father played guitar the way his Nonna, my Nonna Bidra, back in Casteltermini had taught him. And together with my Nonna, we would sing a lullaby for baby Jesus, Lo Bambinedro Gesù. Oh, che del cielo la bella armonia, la Ninna Maria, la Ninna Gesù.
Oh, the music, the music, the music of that poem. Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you. Thank you for that lullaby. And just, thank you for your spirit and your poetry. And yeah, just for being you, the amazing, wonderful you that you are. And of course, I always remember that very first time you came on the program. I look forward to seeing you in 2025, of course.
Thank you. Me too. All the best.
Well, folks, we go now to Mona Zamfirescu, who I believe, hopefully, you have completed now your first semester in graduate school. We get to celebrate so many things with all of you, and it's just a real joy to be able to, watch how all of you continue to emerge, even through the most difficult of times, and watch how each of you kind of persevere with your poetry and bring it to the forefront. So I'm looking forward to hearing your poem, Mona. Happy holidays.
Thank you so much, Sandy. The poem for today is a poem that I call Letter to a Young Poet, dedicated to my youngest son, who for a brief time took an interest in poetry. Letter to a Young Poet. We were both hungry. It was cold that day, late into summer and raining. The kitchen light inviting. Teach me, you said. We began with an egg. A poem is like that. It comes out of your hunger and the longing to tend to the ones you love. All it takes is an egg of the many we dream inside, except it's not an egg, though it comes like one, unasked, sometimes, yet welcome. Remember first time, the way it opened, a knock on a glass door. A hard touch, too much, only a jiggle, too little. The right focus and the golden goodness fills the plate, except it's not a plate, and gold isn't always gold. Mix it till smooth, or maybe not. Whisk again and again until you feel resistance leave your hands, except it's not your hands. And the whisk is not a whisk. The fire will bring it together into itself, out of your body, out of your hands, except it's not a fire. And the hunger is not always hunger, but your longing to tend to the ones you love.
Another stunning poem from you. Right from the very first one you ever read with us. Thank you. Thank you for gracing us with your poetry. Happy holidays. I hope you get a little break from graduate school. And I know you're teaching still too. So just keep doing what you're doing. You're doing smashingly. Beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, first of all, I want to announce our recipient of A Village Life from Louise Gluck is the one and only Catherine Ronan. There you go. You'll be getting this book. Maybe I'll be delivering it in person. You might have to wait a little longer. We'll talk about that. And next up, oh my gosh, everyone, just please give the warmest welcome, the rousing applause for our very own Don Krieger.
Thank you, Sandy. Thank you, Sandy and Kim and everyone for being here. We in America is a collection of hybridized poetry, prose, and photograph. Most pieces have appeared standing alone in literary journals or newspapers. Each highlights a monstrous wrong we have perpetrated as a nation, and from which we, both as a nation and as individuals, continue to benefit generation after generation. I want everybody to have this for free. I put a link in the chat, which actually, let me just do that. So if you click on that, it'll just show up in your browser. And I've put this on screen you can download it from my website, or you can use your phone to download it using this QR code. And I'll read one brief poem from it. One other detail. I released it on October 7th, and it's been downloaded 12,000 times. And most of those have been to Trump supporters on Twitter. Because it's nice to have everybody have access to new ideas, even if they don't like them. Our shared humanities. Nothing is deadlier, dogma, more primordial, pain, so beautiful, courage, riskier, faith, seductive, privilege, more noble and just, war, more profane and hurtful, indifference, more cowardly, forgetting, crueler, God. No greater truth, kindness, nor greater lie, color. Nothing is more human, discovery. That's our shared humanities.
Thank you so much, Don Krieger. Of course, we can't do the program without you. 12,000. Astounding. And I remember the very, very first time you read that poem. We were off camera. We were, and I cried then, and I get very emotional hearing it the many years later. Thank you. Thank you so much. Well, next we go to the most quintessential host of them all, our very dear friend, Michael Anthony Ingram. So wonderful to have you join us here today. Thank you so much, Michael. So good to see you.
Thank you. I bring you greetings from the nation's capital, Washington, D.C. I would like to share my very first Christmas poem, and the title is God's Grace in December. Morning light filters through December frost. The world transforms, but faith is never lost. though tinsel sparkles differently than before, God's grace still enters through each and every open door. No, not the same magic of childhood days, but something deeper has blossomed in this silver gray haze. The tree still stands, ornaments still gleam, as his eternal promise redeems. The world as we know it will shine anew. His love will always bring hope, possibility, and remain forever true. Thank you very much.
Oh, thank you. Keep writing those. Keep writing those. That's your first one. Keep writing them. That's what I have to say. My gosh, thank you very, very
All right,
much.
thank
Happy
you.
holidays. That is Michael Anthony Ingram joining us from the nation's capital, Washington, D.C. Keep the faith, my friend, there. You're holding it down there for us. Yeah, yeah. Okay. Well, our next gift away, when we do the random, whatever this machination that Kim has going, is going to be Richard Blanco, who was the inaugural poet for Barack Obama. His collection, How to Love a Country, seems really appropriate coming after Michael joining us from Washington, D.C. We'll announce the recipient of that just in a little bit. And now we go over to Ireland. Oh, Matt Mooney. I remember meeting you in those very early days of Cultivating Voices Live Poetry. And of course, your contribution to our very first holiday poetry open house. It is always, always the warmth of my heart to welcome you to the program, particularly around the holiday season. Thank you for being here.
Sandy, it's so good to be back. I'm so grateful to be able to have this continuity and to catch up again with Cultivating Voices tonight at this time of the year. In transit, the sudden snow that fell last night now clothes a world struck silent by snowflakes falling slowly, as magical as a million falling stars, softly sitting down below on earth, a night as white as pale moonlight. Into this Christmas card-like scene, a council friend came in the end to grit the road with salt and sand, and twice he repelled the glassy ice that had made my hill a skating rink. I had to call my plumber in the thaw, who, with a spanner and a copper cap, stopped leaking water from escaping as easily as I would turn off a tap. And all this while, with a little smile, an optimistic exile prepared to go for sights on sunrise in Vancouver, going from -0 to -0 in transit, our youngest hopeful hero. Thank you.
Beautiful. Thank you. That is the ever-present, ever-effervescent Matt Mooney. One of the great joys Kim and I had, of course, was joining you live in Limerick and also hearing you play live. You play live. So thank you. Oh my gosh. I can't imagine a holiday open house without the voice of Matt Mooney. So thank you for keeping the record going.
Thank you, Sam.
Thank you. Happy holidays to you. Merry Christmas.
Thank you.
Well, the recipient of How to Love Country Pittsburgh's own Giulio Magrini. I'll be sending this book to you. Thank you so much. And next up in our gift away is going to be, I was thinking about, Matt and the idea of wonder. We have the collection, The Wonder of Small Things, edited by James Kruse, and James Kruse will be joining us in our 2025 season. I can't recall when, but he'll be with us on the program, and that'll be next up. And next up on the open mic, joining us, of course, also from Ireland. Congratulations for you this year with your new book, Gordon Ferris.
Good evening. This a recent poem that I wrote sitting at my daughter's bedside in hospital between watch her sleep and eating her grapes. There's no title to it. On the horizon, pink marshmallow clouds hide the setting sun. Though the air is still, the rabbit stands erect, a sentry to its frolicking family. At the sound of heavy footfall, she disappears in a flash. This early morning, the silence of the summer breeze brings with it hope for new beginnings. Every morning, something new emerges. A clean chapter is waiting to be written. Renewal is on us all. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Gordon. And I'm, reminded of how, poetry allows us to bring the heart of our beloveds to the room when they cannot be joining us. And certainly, your poems have evoked that. I think of Billy Brown's poems evoking that at different times. And well, so many of you. We heard from Caitlin earlier during the program, and so many of you who bring the hearts of your beloveds to the program through your poetry. Thank you so much. Well, we go next now to Linda Wlodyka. So glad that you've joined the program, joined the group, and we've been able to hear poetry from you from time to time. Wonderful to have you with us here today. Thank you.
Okay, yellow ink. Liquid flows from pen, drips golden. I knew the day would glisten, that God would listen. Sweat drips from her brow at noon, handkerchief blots. Up in the clouds, a balloon she spots. He dries teardrops from her young eyes. She mounts her pony, watches sunrise. Yellow sunbeam, brighten horizon. Big sky opens vivid blue. Clouds cast pearlescent hue. Wispy tendrils, crown, forehead. Curly lashes frame, eyes of green. Her golden tresses gleam. Baby sleeps, so it seems. Suckles thumb, sighs, rolls over, sweet dreams. Aged couple sing, speak. The porch boards recant with every creak. Puppy whimpers, kitten purrs. Sun slips down behind God's earth. Moon's aglow within a mist. Candle drips like yellow ink. Thank you.
Oh, that's a great poem from Linda Wlodyka. Thank you so much. Happy holidays to you. I look forward to hearing more of your poems in 2025. Folks, if you're just joining us, it's Cultivating Voices live poetry. Thank you to those of you watching us on Facebook Live and also on YouTube, and the many of you who will watch this recording because you weren't able to be with us live. A particular happy holidays to all of you. Well, next, I get to hear from Barbara Quick. How beautiful is that? Oh my gosh. Oh, my cheeks just burst when I saw you come into the room. Thank you so much. Good to see you, Barbara.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much, Sandy and Kim and Don and all of you beautiful poets. I'm thrilled to be here with you, Sandy, Poet Laureate of Connecticut, in Connecticut today. So I'm a newbie here, and this is a wonderful welcome for me. And I have a frog in my throat, so excuse me if my reading isn't so wonderful. This is called A Californian with a Complicated History Bakes Bread in Connecticut. My hands were schooled in the music of baking bread long before they knew the secrets of human flesh. A virgin on the threshold of the many lives I'd choose and then reject, I watched my best friend's mother, much revered and slightly witchy, conjure fresh-baked loaves from flour, yeast, and water, time, and heat. Nothing like this happened in the house where I was raised, the house I knew I needed to escape. I lift each mound of living dough in upturned hands, caress the seams to shape a loaf that's silky and round. When at the age of 38, I held my newborn son just so, my hands recognized the sensation from so long ago when I first started baking. In this latest incarnation of my kitchen, this latest version of my life as writer and wife, the flour I've sprinkled on the marble counter sings softly of the shimmering fields of wheat far away where it was raised. My hands know how to do their work by heart, and I can dream while I knead and turn the dough, recall myself in all my ages through 50 some odd years or so of baking. Each loaf I've made tied to every other and tied to me by silk satin ribbons woven from memories of feeding the changing cast of those I've loved. And I am always older than I was yesterday, hurtling toward the end of my lifespan, like time-lapse photography in each image, my aging hands shaping the living mixture of flour and salt, honey and yeast, practicing the art and craft of transformation. Thank you.
Oh my gosh. Not only could I smell the bread baking, I love the poem, of course. And any poem that ends on transformation, sign me up. And I look forward to breaking bread with you sometime here in Connecticut during 2025. Let's make that happen.
Absolutely, Sandy.
Yes.
I look forward to that too.
Happy holidays. Thank
Happy
you so
holidays
much.
to you.
Well, the recipient of the Wonder of Small Things, our first copy that we have as our gift away here on Cultivating Voices Live Poetry, is Rich Boucher. And we have a second copy for our next gift away. We'll be announcing that very soon. And now we will turn the mic over to Giulio Magrini. So happy that you're able to be with us here today, Giulio. So
And
great.
happy to be here. Happy to be here. Holiday greetings to the whole Cultivating Voices staff and everyone here. Be well. This particular poem goes out to you if you're in a grocery store during the holidays. It's called Cruising the Aisles of the Whole Foods Dream. We elude the pirouettes of dead patricians, waltz through shopping aisles of corporate supermarket aristocracy to meet the dewy eyes of the scheming incarcerated crew, replenishing their supply of truffles and wagyu. They grin and beckon somberly concerning my inquiring phalanges. Do not squeeze the startling militaristic symmetry of our fruit. The realization of no loftier desire beyond organized frisee, seductive and discreet sausages, arranged with care and last imagined in the adult toy area in another section of town where these patrons would not be found without the benefit of shadow. Our whimsy fades from this opulent grindhouse and pans to the softness of privilege. No recrimination breathes in these aisles, the assurance of organic freedom and the abiding thankfulness of being rational. We are baptized from the womb through the cervix of checkout, the elite newborns sucking on the upmarket teat of the Amazon provider to aspire for the elusive royal star papaya or prawn dumplings with soy ginger sauce. We cling to the assurance that our patronage is wholesome and morally sanctioned, not unlike the Lebensborn from accusatory history, and without the recollection of original sin through the pipe dreams of coddled religion. In our restless saffron somnambulation, we are the ravenous and greedy pigsty reality, unmindful of grunts, squeals, and profit margins, deafening our present and turning continuously in hallucination as the manipulators continue our enthusiastic aspiration for the best pork chop made from the loins of our ancestors. End poem.
Oh, wow. I read today or yesterday, Whole Foods may be coming to Old Saybrook.
Noel. I mean,
Yeah, I know. Well, we can talk off camera about my connection to, yeah, we'll do that. Anyway, so good to see you. Thank you for being here. Happy holidays. Stay very well. And I look forward to seeing more of your culinary delights during the upcoming 2025. Maybe even sharing one with you in 2025. Yep, okay, you got it. That's Giulio Magrini, everyone. Thank you so much. And next we get to hear from Joanne James. I'm so excited. Thank you for being with us today, Joanne. And
Hello.
all the time that you're with us. A gift.
I was just enjoying and I didn't realize you're getting to me already.
It's word to you.
Thank you, everyone. I brought a poem called, the title is Flirting, and it's for my wife. It's kind of our first date. Little dazzler, open window, my eyes are dreaming in the language of water. My green eyes, a green river. Who was an open book when you tried to open her up? But she held Leo mystique. We laugh about it now. She didn't flirt, so I had to do all the flirting, which felt like a little song. I looked at her and poured honey into my clear teacup, kept pouring. It was Blue Moon Cafe. I kept pouring. It would be a sweet little mouthful. Our first time together before the war, before the earthquake, our 6 weeks of honeymoon, my green eyes, a green river of mystery, of time. I am so bereft, not willful, still a flirt. I am so bereft because of constant physical pain. I need to swallow a little dazzle, a sweet mouthful. Everything in the green river like a desert. The only place I learned the language of water. People say I'm taking a negativity fast, and I think, how boring. Who wants all the light, dazzling, only the surface of the water, without the train of the undercurrent, the tracks slacker, black, and intense, the train of memories, willful, powerful. Remember the dazzle and honey, our honeymoon, then 35 years, an open window of darkness and light, like a charm, amulet, talisman for love. Thank you.
I love any poem that is about flirting and begins with little dazzler and has so much dazzle in it. Dazzle, dazzle away. I say dazzle, dazzle away. Thank you. Happy holidays. Thanks for being here. I look forward to more of your poems in 2025, of course. Well, one of the great joys as I drink from my joy mug here of this year has been, as most of you know, I've been traveling quite a bit. With my new collection, the Glass Studio, and as a result of that, I've gotten to meet in person so many poets, and it has been an incredible joy and an incredible journey, and it will continue on into 2025, of course. And one of those poets that I got to meet is our next reader, Laura Gerard, when we were at the Taking a Stand Against Hate anthology reading at the Seattle Art Museum. So thank you for being here, and what an absolute pleasure it was to meet you. And I'm really glad that was part of this year for me.
Thank you. It was wonderful meeting you as well. How special that you came to that reading. And Joanne, thank you for that beautiful flirty poem. Loved the little dazzle. I am going to read a poem from my yet to be published book, and it's a moment of celebration I wrote about 2 years ago. So I thought it related a little bit to the celebratory time of year. Thank you for listening. It's called Hold My Ground. And it's a prose poem. After an hour drive, I opened test results on my phone at the nearest reticent cancer center. A new notice atop the record reads, multiple myeloma in remission. My lungs swell, hands shake as I dial a best friend, shuffle to the hall to speak aloud. I'm stunned. She's confused by my stuttering mothball words. Too soon the nurse collects my spacey head, walks me on water to the scale, examination room. The hematologist is out. This staff doesn't know me from another atom. There is no rejoicing declaration, but the flutter warmth and increased heartbeat within. I postpone the profound, sigh into routine, answer questions about heart effects, nausea and swelling, then rush to my truck, speed dialing. What happens when you get the vital thing you wish for? Years of choke back tears bust out your gritty throat. Gratitude burns the trudging fear in your heart. You need to share the good news with those who care about you and helped you get to where you are now, alive and in hope. Sharing is just as important as the sensation of the moment. Sensation passes, sharing lingers. Those who experience joy with you surround and hold ground for elation to perpetuate, to spiral as a dust funnel defines wind in the most glorious way, to circulate toward the heavens and to complete dissolution and touch the source unseen. This connection expands my breath again, brings more tears of utter praise and disbelief that what I prayed for the most is here. I do not know what remission means for my future, but I feel the relief of decrescendo, release of what I no longer need, an unstopping of the plug, emptying 10 months of anticipation and anxiety with the briny bathwater into the earth. Thank you for celebrating this with me this year. 2 years still in remission, and happy holidays to everyone. Thank you.
That is a deep, deep cause for celebration. Deep, deep cause for celebration. And thank you for bringing the message of that also to us, to remind us of the vast ways that celebration takes shape in the body, of course, in the body. Thank you. I look forward to seeing you in the new year as well in 2025. I will be in Seattle in February, so we'll make it happen. All right, folks, we have a number of giveaways, so we're going to keep going a little over time, a little over the 90 minutes today. Here are a few more poems so we can give away a few more gifts. And the recipient of the second copy of The Wonder of Small Things, edited by James Kruse, is Marta Daniel. So congratulations and enjoy. It's such a wonderful, wonderful collection. And there's also a box set of 3 of the anthologies if you're looking for great gifts of poetry, as well as anybody's collection in this room as well. Well, next we get to hear from Thomas Emmett. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you for being here. I can't wait to hear your poem today.
Thank you. All right, so it's called En Frisson. If neurons that fire together wire together, do they tire together too? If we just choir together, aspire together, inspired, we're tethered. So choose your congregation well, 'cause frisson's a powerful spell. And when that music swells, self goes under, is sundered, renewed, mixed up with the brew. All you've been told begins to ring true. But wait, some truth was never out there, it's hidden inside. To see it, you'll need to grow inner eyes. So sometimes flee frisson and seek the quiet of your closet, then close it and look. All you'll need is a thread to retrace your tread when you and your monster come out again.
My gosh, I love your poems. I love them. I love them. Oh my gosh, the energy of them is extraordinary. That's Thomas Emmett, everyone. Bring more in 2025, please, please, please. Thank you, thank you. All right, another person I had the absolute big joy, not only to meet in person, but to read with a number of times. The one, the only, Karen Poppy. And I hope we will continue that streak into 2025.
I hope so too, Sandy. Thank you so much. And Merry Christmas to everybody. Happy Hanukkah and whatever holidays everyone else is celebrating. I mostly celebrate Hanukkah, but I can't pass up glittery glasses and fussy hats. So here I am. This poem came to me in a series of dreams, content warning about death, although most of this is pretty humorous. So here's my poem. Death is a wallet opened and emptied of everything, except for one green business card telling you when you can expect your soul's recycling, but not where or how or whom or what you will become in your next becoming. Death is an oversized blue and yellow IKEA tote bag filled with nothing, not even alphabetical instructions or Allen wrenches. Obsolete of all chances never taken, time not spent in love and creation, opportunities forfeited through lack of daring, a cheap plastic of flimsy but durable billowing to follow you through to your own soul's recycling. Death is visible through a bubbled glass window, sudsed with bubbles, wet laundry left in a communal machine, never freed of all stains, spinning heavy and thin, a trapping from each life to the next, forever spinning. Death is small-framed photographs strewn on dingy flooring, family and first loves captured behind dust. You are the dust of each dusting, gray and lurking, a ghost of your own making, a ghost with each memory also a ghost, a dim-lit haunting. Death is cancer-riddled bones, a body breaking. Death is a sudden stop, made too late and right on time, or made too early, a green branch snapping. Death is waters bathed in, a full submersion, beyond drowning. Seeing a child returned to mud. You are that child and that child's self.
Beautiful poem. Thank you. Thank you so much. That's Karen Poppy, everyone. You have outdone the garb for sure. And we'll see you in 2025. All right, folks. The next gift away. She had a blockbuster of a book, Modern Poetry. It's Diane Seuss, but this is one for earlier collections, Still Life with Still Life with Two Dead Peacocks and a Girl. That will be the next gift away. We're going to keep going until the gift aways. We're going to try to get through as many people. And next we're going to hear from Laura Foley. Oh my gosh. Again, Laura takes us right from the first season. So good to have you with us here today.
Thank you so much, Sandy. Great to be back again. And thank you so much for the amazing energy that you bring to this whole project. I'm sure we all agree that it's lovely to be in your presence. I'm going to read a poem. I spent the morning on the Polar Express with my two grandchildren. Here's one from the other grandchild called Alternate Reality. The 2-year-old resists my hand, walks on her own down the steep drive, kicks a lump of snow she calls rock. At the bottom of the hill, Christmas waits in sacks, bright wrapper and ribbon just visible through black plastic, cardboard waving from the recycling bin in December wind. A truck rumbles up just in time for us, and she calls happily to Santa Claus, who jumps out and waves back as he loads the trash into his noisy sleigh. In white beard, ski cap, fluorescent green vest, I can see what she has seen in him and how he now begins to see himself as he ho-ho-hos down the road, red taillights twinkling, engine thundering as he grinds the gears like 100 reindeer.
Oh, that's fantastic. Oh my gosh. I've never been on the Polar Express. I think I have to add that to my bucket list. Thank you. That's Laura Foley, everyone. And I know you have a new book, so continued success with that journey. We'll hopefully be seeing you in the 2025 season as well. Thank you so much. So great to see you. Well, next we now will hear from Jeff Kaliss, another person who I got to see in California, in Berkeley, at the amazing art house in Berkeley, California. If you've never been, folks, put that on your bucket list, and you might also get to meet Jeff Kaliss, which is also worth putting on your bucket list.
Thank you, Sandy. And let me tell you, Sandy absolutely had Berkeley in the palm of her hand. She's not only a fine poet, she's a great entertainer. That's one of the best things about getting to meet this woman in person. I have a poem about a different outlying region from San Francisco to the south, the suburb of Daly City. This is also a holiday poem of sorts, and it really happened. It's called Oil Change at Key West. This is Daly City and daily life. You gotta love it. This is my while in this world, my sidewalk seat on Outer Mission Street, in the fleeting of the few last days of the old year. I am what waits while other lives drive by underneath an undistinguished sky. Here is how it works, and hear it. Happy holidays, they say, going away from, coming together with. They fatten up their friendliness at Taco Bell and Jack in the Box. They reinforce their rolling at O'Reilly Auto Parts. All this is what it gets us. And over there, a place for rent in a 3-story box with a balcony. Ante up the first month's fee, and you can sit there seeing how time passes daily city. Or look up to where the strangely purposed seagulls, distanced from their surging ocean, mock the busyness and laugh at my wordy contemplation. Thank you all for listening.
Thank you. That's Jeff Kaliss. Thank you for those kind words. You also can often see Jeff read here and also at Lime Square Poets. I just want to give a good shout out to Lime Square Poets. They're kind of our sister city reading series among many of the other ones that so many of you host as well. But they were right there with us at the beginning of the pandemic. It was then called Not the Time to Be Silent. Of course, many of you remember. Well, speaking of Ireland, well, before, let me just say, the recipient of Diane Seuss's book is Mona Zamfirescu. So hopefully I'll be delivering that to you in person if I get that chance. Otherwise, that'll be coming in the mail to you. Mona, congratulations. Happy holidays. Our next gift away is going to be Kara Briggs was one of our readers in our November New Book Showcase. This collection from St. Julian Press, Rivers in My Veins, is an incredibly stunning collection. I know because I blurred the book. So along with some other amazing poets. So that'll be the next gift away that we have here on Cultivating Voices. And now we turn to, she needs no introduction. She's here with us mostly every week from West Cork. Catherine Ronan, happy holidays. I hope you're having a good evening and enjoying our holiday open house here.
Absolutely. So thank you, Don, Sandy, and Kim, for a great 2024. Thanks for my new book showcase in January. I believe I kicked off 2024 here, Cultivating Voices. And of course, what a joy to meet you in person. Jeff, beware, I'm on my way. Haha, California. He's putting his head in his hand, no. I'm going to read a poem called Winter Hope. I knew you would come, invincible sun, rebirth from darkness, clocks burn and turn, stone singing ancestors face the same sky, mistletoe glows, fiery ankles feast. On the darkest day, Jupiter and Saturn kiss. Fingers frosted blue trace ancient nights. You offer me the veiled chalice of begin. I crawl out of winter's cave, newborn in your sight. Squinting at your song, written in the trees. I knew you would come, invincible sun.
Yeah, and the light's like casting, like it's like sunlight's coming and beaming right down on you. Yeah, there's nothing like hearing a Catherine Ronan poem unless you're hearing it in person, which I was able to do in 2025 or 2024. And I believe it will happen again in 2025. So we will hold that hope together, of course. Thank you so much. Well, we just have a few more readers to go. Stay with us, folks. I know we're going a little over. There's so many of you that are still with us, and just a few more to go. And we do want to, I want to honor that we could get through everyone. I'll let you know, I think our very first holiday open house was 4 hours. So we're not going 4 hours. We just have a few more to go. Thank you so much. And now we'll hear from Catherine Fletcher. Great to have you with us today for a poem. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Happy holidays. Thanks for your wonderful words, everyone. I'm going to continue with our food theme. And this is a tale of a 3-pound bag of oranges when my eyes were bigger than my stomach. It's called Winter Harvest. On a dull January day back east, numbing cold, I slice and reveal inner peel's edge, pulpy flesh, bounty cultivated by Iberian friars in New World mission groves. Squeeze to yield sticky juice of trade routes and Andalusian palaces, verdant gardens collect in a pitcher. Cradle the lemons as I grate the rind, release citron aroma and Arabic etymologies, combine with the nectar. Clear, shape-shifting water brims the pot. It simmers, then rolls, growing warmer. I scoop pale crystals, let them cascade. Hush of breeze in the cane as they meet the water. Now, bubbling like the Pacific shoreline when waves recede, I witness transformation as I stir and take this sweet brew from the flame. Add the bright juice, again stirring. I pour the mix into chilled bowl and freeze in the icebox. Time slows. Hours. Anticipation grows. Seduced by fruit, I open the door, dig in my spoon, and the sorbet's tang ripples through me as California winters blossom on my tongue. Those mornings after rain, when the air rings like a bell, like a call to prayer, and my soul lifts to the sheltering mountains. Thanks for listening, everyone.
Oh my gosh, what a beautiful poem. Thank you. I love your backdrop. Look, everything about that. Thank you so much. And please bring more in 2025. Please bring more in 2025. That's Catherine Fletcher, everyone. Beautiful, stunning, loved it. Oh my gosh. Well, next, I'm trying to move us along, everybody. We'll hear from Clive Oseman. Great to have you with us today. Thank you so much.
Hello, thanks. Great to be here. I will start by saying I'm here for something completely different, just for those who have never heard me before. And I don't normally do Christmas poems. I'm not a fan of the season. I don't like all the greed and hypocrisy that's managed to feed its way into it, but I thought I'd write one this year. On the first day of Christmas, my true love gave to me a bloody partridge in a pear tree. I mean, what sort of present is that? She's obviously not as fond of me as I am as her. I gave her a blooming pet panda and a whopping great 60-inch TV. On the second day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 2 blasted turtle doves and another partridge in a pear tree, for crying out loud. The next day, she gave me 3 French hens, 2 more turtle doves, and yet another partridge. I think she thinks I've got a partridge fetish or something. I want my TV back. Then came the 4 calling birds and the repeat number of French hens, turtle doves, and partridges. This ridiculous, stupid behaviour lasted for 12 days. 12 days, I tell you! By the end of the festive season, I was lumbered with 12 partridges, 22 turtle doves, 30 French hens, and they stank, 36. I've lost my place, just a minute. 36 calling birds, 40 gold rings, 42 geese are laying, 42 bloody swans are swimming, and 40 maids are milking, 36 ladies dancing, 30 lords are leaping, 22 perishing pipers piping, and 12 drummers drumming like bloody maniacs. I had a raging headache, because of the drumming drummers and the piping pipers. And one of the leaping lords had filched the sodding gold rings, bloody typical of the bloody aristocracy. The partridges had defecated all over the place, and my former true love had accused me of making merry with one of the dancing ladies, for God's sake. I fucking well hate Christmas. Thank you.
I laughed through the whole thing. Oh my gosh. Yes. A little levity there. Thank you so much. Thanks for bringing the real. Thanks for bringing the real. And bring some more in 2025. We're down to our last three readers, everybody. And so next we will hear from, oh my gosh, I just lost my place. Sorry. I had it. I've got a lot going on in the chat here, as you can well imagine. Oh yes. Eelka Lampe, I've loved hearing your poetry this year. Thank you for gracing us with one more in 2024, and I hope for many in 2025.
Thank you so very much, Sandy. I'm really grateful that I found you through Diane Knox, actually. And it's actually Lampe, like an at the end. All right, I'm going to change the tone after Clive. I'm going to read an ekphrastic poem that just came out in the anthology Inspired by Art, collaboration between Olympic Peninsula authors and artists. And this I actually wrote in 2022 originally, and the painting did not have a title at the time, but I'm going to screen share the painting. And a content warning, death, but also hope. Can you see it? Okay. So the painting is by Nancy McFall. She used to be in Seattle and then came to the Olympic Peninsula. Beyond screaming, I see a family of three holding a huge hurt heart, red, yellow, brown. Their large, tilted, compassionate heads are faceless, grief erased. Beyond, monks scream. The one on the right, smaller, clad in a black cape, Father Death, the devil. Whoever it is, even this faceless, nameless entity is capable of compassion, holding up the bloody heart together with remaining family. What dwells in the core of the heart? The skeleton of an eagle? Are they mourning the whole country? A faint yellow of sunshine surrounds them on the upper left, glimmers of hope, gently piercing their thoughts and shyly cascading around them. Yet, still with a grayish morning center, producing tears that have become creeks in the sky, streaming down vertically, even through the featureless faces. 2020 at the lower right corner. A portrait of despair and hope, hope against all odds. The strength of holding up love is enormous, beyond speech, beyond individual tears, even beyond screaming. Love for those lost, love for themselves, love for all those who are falling into the abyss of tragedies at home and far away. Sorrows beyond the plague. But just as you thought I'd missed something, there seems to be a ladder leading out of the grieving heart. Or is it a keyboard? A board of keys ready to unlock the way toward a better world.
Beautiful, beautiful poem. Beautiful poem. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. You know, here at Cultivating Voices Live Poetry, you know, we've really experienced the gamut as we've moved through so many world events, tragedies, difficulties, but we've always come with our hearts, with our humanity, and with that sense of hope, and knowing that poetry can elevate all of those feelings and bring them to the forefront. Thank you. What a shining example, and a perfect to get us close to ending the program with an ekphrastic poem. I'll explain why in a moment. Thank you so much. Our final two readers for today makes so much sense that Isaac Cohen would be with us, and then to have someone from my previous hometown. So Isaac Cohen, please, a poem from you.
Yes. Dear Sandy, dear Kim, dear Don, dear all my friends in the world. Isaac Cohen, love, I kiss you. You sip nectar and eat ambrosia. You change into a goddess. Thank you, Isaac Cohen, Israel. And I hope the peace will come and the break of fire in all the border and all the people live with peace and love only. Thank you.
It has been one of the most moving things to be able to have Isaac join us almost every week. To call what's going on over in Israel and Palestine a conflict is deeply minimizing that, and to have Isaac's voice with us has just been a true gift. Thank you so much. Well, I want to let you all know that Kim contributed a blank poetry journal as her gift away for today, and the recipient of that gift is Jeff Kaliss. So enjoy writing in your new journal, and we'll hear now from Cynthia Pratt, and then we'll have our final gift away, and then I'll make a few brief announcements, and we'll be on our way into the rest of the holiday season. Cynthia, you are the final reader. Happy holidays. Happy holidays, yes.
So I'm going to take us back in time, and so we know that this doesn't hopefully occur too often. It's called Waiting It Out, and the epigraph is 1996, Lacey, Washington. As if giving in would mark us weak, tell everyone we would not have made it 100 years ago. We stayed in the house without electricity, hot water, hot meals, listening to trees snap around us, packing in wood, building fires in the fireplace. But I thrive in near catastrophes. It's the survival fantasy, not real, but a test run. In third grade, our town, Truckee, was buried in snow, roads closed, no food delivered from Reno or over the mountains from Sacramento, no school, no mail, no drifts covering, just drifts covering our house. I shoveled each new layer off the house because my father said the ice would collapse the roof. And each night the snow, not yet shoveled, would freeze. After a while, the 15 feet of snow sloped down into our porch, turned slick and hard as diamonds. We pushed my grandmother up the incline to the hole at the top of the eaves so she would see daylight, pushed our dog up and out to relieve himself, burned up all our wood, all our broken furniture in the basement. After 2 months without school, my friend and I started going there, digging down to peer into the windows, look at empty desks. With each report of someone dying from the cold in an avalanche, being lost in the frequent whiteouts, we'd bury our popsicle sticks in the schoolyard, holding a service over each one, finally losing track of where they were all placed. So that when the thaw came, it was not from a sense of elation, but acceptance of the respite, waiting for the next year, a year we could not at the time predict, one of heavy snow, then rain and floods that covered the streets by the river, flooded Reno, caused hillsides to slip, muddy water to ooze into our basements, while we waited to retrieve what was salvageable.
Thank you so much, Cynthia. Folks, please let's unmute and just give just such warm applause to all of our readers for today. You've seen all their names in the chat. What a beautiful, beautiful evening, afternoon.
Bravo.
Thank you. I want to let you know that the final gift away will be a signed copy of my book, The Glass Studio. That'll be going out to Joanne James. Thank you. I hope you'll enjoy that. And folks, I mean, it's really warmed my heart.
Everybody.
Peace, love, and poetry. Kim, thank you for all of your work. Thank you to Don Krieger. A reminder, everybody, that we will be joining you in the new year, beginning on January 5th. And as I was saying before, it was very fitting to have an ekphrastic poem near the end of our program, because we're going to be unveiling a new format in our Poets Focus. We're now going to have 2 featured readers with new books and the open mic. And our Poets Focus on January 5th will be joined by Tina Berry and Shelley Wong, who both have books that are deeply related to art, and all of you on the open mic. So bring your poems that connect to that theme. And as well, join us in January. Our new book showcases are just going to continue to bedazzle you. We'll be joined by Lana Heckman Ayers, editor of Moonpath Press, with one of her new books, as well as 3 of her press writers from the Pacific Northwest. One of our favorites here, Thomas A. Thomas, and his new book, Ansley Clark and Julian Weaver. So that'll be November. That will be on January 12th. And of course, we'll be back with our much beloved wild card open mic. That will be for January. Well, you have all just closed us out for our 2024 season. Amazing, amazing fashion, poetry fashion, and some of you brought the fashion. And I can't thank you enough. Again, on behalf of Don Krieger, Kim Ports Parsons, my mom would want me to throw her in there. I wish all of you a very peaceful, love-filled holiday season. And as I always say at the end of the program, take great care of yourselves during this holiday season of light. Take exceptional care of your beloveds. And of course, I hope that, Santa or the dreidel or the sun brings you all blank journals to fill between now and January when we reconvene. I'm Sandy Yannone, your host for Cultivating Voices Live Poetry. A very good evening, good afternoon to you all. Stay well. Thank you. Happy holidays.
Take care.